The White House says an Azerbaijani airliner that crashed in Kazakhstan may have been shot down by Russia. Mexico tries to protect migrants in the US from being deported by Trump's administration by announcing an app that connects those facing arrest with consulates and lawyers. US President-elect Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to pause a law that would ban TikTok the day before his inauguration on the 20th of January if it's not sold by its Chinese owner, ByteDance. Well, Donald Trump's legal team said in light of the novelty and difficulty of the case, the court should consider extending the deadline to grant more, quote, breathing space and give Mr. Trump the opportunity to pursue a political solution. People living in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, have welcomed the first convoy of food aid to arrive since the break out of the civil war in April last year. These are pictures of food trucks being unloaded in Khartoum on Thursday. UN agencies and Sudanese support groups negotiated with the warring sides to deliver supplies into the area. And although aid has reached other parts of the country since the start of the war, more than 24 million people are in urgent need of food. That is about half the entire population. The White House says North Korean troops are suffering mass casualties in what it says are hopeless assaults against Ukrainian forces. According to a national security spokesman in Washington, 1,000 North Koreans have been killed or wounded in the past week in Russia's Kursk region. It's believed that up to 12,000 North Koreans have been sent to Russia's war effort. The United States has imposed sanctions on the founder of Georgia's ruling party. The State Department accuses Bidzina Ivanishvili of undermining democracy in his country for the benefit of Russia. There have been repeated demonstrations in the capital Tbilisi since Georgian Dream won a disputed parliamentary election in October and then suspended talks on closer ties with the European Union. South Korea's third president in 2 weeks has said that he will try to overcome the country's political turmoil after his predecessor was suspended from office. The country's finance minister, Choi Sang-mok, was declared acting leader after Han Duck-soo's impeachment in Parliament on Saturday. Mr. Han had only become acting president 2 weeks ago after his former boss, Yoon Suk-yeol, was suspended over his failed attempt to declare martial law.
Pope Francis is to become the second pope to share his thought for the day on BBC Radio 4 this morning.
His contribution to the segment, which sees individuals from major faiths share their reflections on the world around us, has been recorded in Italian and then translated into English.
His message is said to encourage hope, kindness and humility.
Russia has been accused of sabotaging Estonia's main power link in the Gulf of Finland. The Finnish Coast Guard boarded an oil tanker suspected of damaging the undersea cable. Well, NATO says that it will enhance its military presence in the Baltic Sea. Caroline Hawley explains.
NATO and other Western officials have repeatedly expressed concern about increased Russian sabotage in Europe. So it wasn't long before a link was made between a ship carrying Russian oil and the undersea power cable damaged on Christmas Day. This is the Eagle S, which the EU believes is part of a shadow fleet of ageing oil tankers used by Russia to evade sanctions. It was seized by Finnish police and Coast Guard early yesterday, shortly after the underwater power cable went down, dramatically reducing the supply of electricity to Estonia. It's the latest in a series of acts of suspected sabotage against critical infrastructure that have taken place since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. There have been 3 in just the last few weeks. If you look here, you can see a data cable between Helsinki, the Finnish capital, and the German port of Rostock, severed last month. And then here's that power cable between Finland and Estonia, which could take several months to repair. Investigators believe the Eagle S, located here by satellite navigation software after leaving a port in Russia, deliberately caused the damage by dragging its anchor through the cable. Several data cables were also broken, and the Finnish president says criminal proceedings are beginning.
New York's Attorney General has released footage showing prison officers beating an inmate while he was handcuffed and who later died in hospital. The body cameras show Robert Brooks being punched and kicked on December the 9th, the day before he died. This is when some of the employees restrained him, while other parts of the video show the beatings and Robert Brooks with blood on his face. 2 sergeants, 10 correction officers and a nurse have been suspended pending the outcome of an investigation. Letitia James says that the videos were shocking and disturbing.
Today, my office is releasing video from the investigation into the death of Mr. Robert Brooks. Mr. Brooks had been incarcerated at Mohawk Correctional Facility and was transferred to Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. During the incident, he was handcuffed with his hands behind his back. He was pronounced dead at Wynn Hospital in Utica on December 10th. I do not take lightly the release of this video, especially in the middle of the holiday season. But as Attorney General, I release these videos because I have a responsibility and duty to provide the Brooks family, their loved ones, and all New Yorkers with transparency and accountability. My deepest condolences go out to Mr. Brooks's family. As Attorney General, you have my word that we will use every possible tool available to us to investigate this death thoroughly and swiftly.
Vladimir Putin has apologised to Azerbaijan's president over the passenger plane crash in Kazakhstan. He called it a tragic incident over Russian airspace, but didn't take responsibility. The health ministry in Gaza says Israeli forces detained and interrogated around 100 medical staff from a hospital in northern Gaza after they forcibly evacuated patients. Thick fog continues to cause delays and cancellations at some of the UK's busiest international airports. And these jeans were not made for chess. In fact, it led to the resignation of the world's top grandmaster. The chess grandmaster Magnus Carlsen has quit a world tournament in New York after the governing body of chess said he couldn't carry on playing if he was wearing jeans. He was playing in New York when he was told he'd be excluded from the next round if he didn't change his trousers. Carlsen, the highest ranked player in the world, immediately pulled out of both the Rapid World Championship and the World Blitz tournament. He did offer to dress more formally for the next day's play, but was told he had to change out of his jeans immediately. A lottery ticket holder in the US has woken up more than $1 billion richer after matching all 6 winning numbers in the Mega Millions draw. The winning ticket was bought at this convenience store in Cottonwood in California. The prize is estimated to be around $1.3 billion. That's only the 5th biggest prize in the game's history. The largest win was a little over $2 billion, also bought by someone in California back in November 2022.